Today we will be discussing 3 of the weirdest and most disgusting crimes that I could find. This is going to be a shitty video. Let's start with Frank Abraqua, a man dubbed the Poopatrator by the media. On February 21, 2022, 37-year-old Abraqua attacked a woman with his own feces on the New York subway station. This incident occurred on the southbound Wakefield 241 Street station at 5:15 p.m. The woman sitting on the bench is minding her business when Abraqua walks up to her carrying his feces in the black bag. He then struck her in the face with the bag of feces and smacked her on the back of her head before fleeing the scene. Abraqua was arrested on February 28, 2022, and charged with forcibly touching, disorderly conduct, menacing, and harassment. When arrested, Abraqua told the police shit happens.
Oh, this motherfucker think he's funny. He got jokes. Like, really?
He was booked and released because in the state of New York, smearing someone with your excrement is not considered a violent crime. The judge could not set bail, so Abraqua was free to commit more crimes. And commit more crimes is what he did. After his shitty escapade on the subway, Abraqua was arrested for shattering a window of a storage facility with a barbell and threatening an employee. But karma got this fucker. He was arrested for the storage facility incident and sent to Rikers Island. While at Rikers, Abraqua was scalded with boiling hot water. A fellow detainee got upset with Abraqua and splashed him with hot water. Ironically, the inmate who scalded Abraqua is named Burns.
There's no way I would have tolerated that. Do that to me, and I'm gonna have to beat that ass. I have brass knucks and mace, and while that may be illegal in the state of California, I really don't give a fuck.
Our next story is the Akron serial pooper. There have been many poopers over the years, but the Akron pooper has yet to be found. There is speculation as to who he might be, but none of that has panned out. In 2015, an unidentified man was discovered defecating on cars and even outdoor children's toys. The police called him the bowel movement bandit, but will refer to him as the poop bandit. It has a better ring to it. The bandit pooped on 19 cars in the Kenmore neighborhood. The bandit would crap on the hood of the car, the door handles, window, and gas tank cover. A resident set up a hidden surveillance camera after the poop bandit dropped 8 deuces on his daughter's car. The surveillance camera took a picture every 8 seconds, giving us this gem. As for the identity of the poop bandit, we may never know. Many of the residents in the Kenmore neighborhood believe that they've figured out who the pooper is. Former firefighter David Ware, 56, was speculated as being the bandit himself. Unfortunately, he murdered his wife and then killed himself on March 11, 2015. Ware resembled the perpetrator and committed murder-suicide the same day. The Beacon Journal put out an article with a picture of the pooper. The residents of Kenmore still believe the pooper to be David Ware because the dumping stopped the day the picture of the bandit was published. Our final shit-tastic story is the manure masturbator. My God, when you think you've seen and heard it all. David Truscott, also known as the maniac manure masturbator. Wow, that's a lot of M's. This story is international. Hailing from the UK, David Truscott would frequent dairy farms and steal manure. Taking the manure home with him, Truscott would pleasure himself with it. When taking poop home wasn't enough for him anymore, Truscott began rolling around in the muck, covering himself while doing his business. To combat his perversion, farm owners put up fences and removed manure from the fields. Truscott became so enraged that he threatened to kill the staff and tried to burn down the farm. He was eventually jailed in 2005 for his antics, and then he was arrested again in 2009 and 2011. In 2013, he set a part of a farm in Cornwall on fire when the owner tried to deter his poop fantasies. The blaze killed a calf. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison where he will receive psychiatric care. Upon his release, he will be issued a restraining order keeping him away from farms.
That's all I got for you. I scoured the internet for these weird stories and I hope you're satisfied. I'm aware that no one watches these videos, but that's okay, I do them for me, and I think they're hilarious. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm that nerd girl D. Bye.